It's so nice of y'all to join me. I just want you to know, for the folks who are already watching, I'm just kind of hanging out and letting the group come in and trying to get as many people, you know, in here as possible. I just want to say a couple things as this progresses. I'm going to play the record backwards, and there's a reason for it, and that is because I just felt like it would be fun. And I feel like a lot of the quote unquote what we call maybe hits on this record are kind of front loaded on the in the front of the record, and um, I know that like uh, that's to grab people's attention and everything like that, and it makes a lot of sense from the the perspective of like a business plan or whatever, because records are like that. Like you want to have kind of the first stuff coming in at the beginning, so that people so that people can um, grab a hold of the radio singles or the hits and stuff like that. Not that I've ever had any real radio hits at all, but anyway, um, I want you to also ignore this Joy Dav Dar thing. I don't know what the heck it is, this person who's in here, but it's not me, and definitely has nothing to do with us as a, you know, by us I mean me, I guess. I'm going to try to block this person right now before anything else happens. But if anybody else like sees any of this kind of idiotic stuff, where somebody, I've had since this I advertised this, I've had like quite a few weird people trying to kind of co-opt what I'm doing or whatever, and post like crummy links. Yeah, Wendy, if you can get rid of it, and try to moderate some of that, that would be really great. Yeah, anyway, so I was saying I'm going to play this record backwards, and the reason for that is just because I thought it would be fun to give it a new perspective, and honestly, like some of my favorite songs are on the second half of this record. They're the songs that don't get a lot of glory, so I thought that I would just go ahead and fire it up and start it out there. And as I said, if you didn't know, I'm going to talk a lot about the stories behind these songs, this record. This is a very important record for me, because I was in a transitive period, and I guess a lot of people are in transitive periods in general in their lives. A lot of artists are when they're writing records, but this one, I was halfway between being completely brokenhearted and still in the mindset of when I released Somebody Loves You, and leaving the relationship that I was in there, and then also meeting my ex-wife and kind of falling for this person, and simultaneously realizing that I was making mistakes. And yeah, it was really weird. I was really unhappy in this time period of my life, and I oftentimes kind of go back to the early part of my career and try to tell people about how unhappy I was. And to be honest with you, it's not the early part of my career. It's just the early, the late 2000s and early 2000 teens, like 2009, 2010, 2011. 2012, 2013, 2014. Honestly, 2014 is when I started putting my life back together. But I wrote this song, "Somewhere a Light Shines," and it's really one of my favorite songs that I ever wrote, or it's one of the most special songs to me. And I wrote this song because I had just started kind of getting my first glimpse of fame or whatever in with Somebody Loves You, and this record. And on the album cycle for Somebody Loves You, being on tour, I had gotten a reputation for being difficult and being kind of a dick and being standoffish, and basically, this reputation was deserved. I was pretty shitty to some people early on, and you know, honestly, it wasn't like I wanted to be. I just was really miserable and really anxious, and I didn't know how to deal with that. And so, uh, like many people, I just sort of lashed out and was knee jerk reactionary. Anyway, this song is like an apology. This is like my first attempt to broach the subject of knowing that I was doing harm to people and upsetting folks. And anyway, this song is called Somewhere a Light Shines. Do you care to know what is inside of me? When my secrets are mine and my home is a heart filled with fear, such a sickening burden, a crippling burden to bear. I heard what was said, whether right or wrong. I measured each whisper that leapt from your tongue, though it sounded like shouting to my head and to my heart. I was too busy moving to care. But if there's a light shining, point the way there. The straight way of walking, I'll be like an arrow. If there's a line I'm crossing, I'll try to be better for you. The soil, brackish water, the thorn and the vine. To be callous or warm are both honest and human. I become the fake flower, the sickeningly sweet wine, and the smile that never touches the eyes. But if there's a light shining, point the way there. Straight way of walking, I'll be like an arrow. If there's a line I'm crossing, I'll try to be better. For the light shining, pointing there, the straight way of walking, and I am an arrow. If there's a line I'm crossing, I'll try to be better for you. All right, well, that's the first one, Somewhere a Light Shines. And yeah, I hope that things are sounding good. Wendy, if you're out there, if you could just do me a favor and let me know, or if somebody could let me know what's going on. Stefan, you said that the YouTube is not streaming, huh? That is very, very weird and distressing. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but it says that should be streaming. I'm looking at it right now, but yeah, it's yeah, I wonder if the reason why it's not doing it is because we set it up in the wrong time zone. And didn't come through. At any rate, there's not much that can be done about it right at this second, and I'm just going to go ahead and keep going. If for some reason anybody has any other critiques that I can actually kind of do from here, that would be great. Let me know how it sounds, if it sounds good or bad, if it's breaking up or anything like that, if I should turn down the gain or any of those kinds of things. Just let me know. Tell me. Yeah, this is like my first self-managed streaming event with like a actual rig and stuff like that, because I'm recording this and I want you to, I'm gonna like, you know, try and make it sound good, and then I'll send it out to everybody afterwards. Anybody who's donated more than 10 dollars will get or $10 or more will get it. Alright, so next song is Keys. Oh shoot, I should have been preparing for that, getting myself all ready. Alright, so this is a true story. There's a Vietnam veteran in my hometown who he one time cornered me and a couple of my friends at a coffee shop and said the problem with our generation was that we didn't have a war to fight. And then within a few years of that, the 9/11 happened, and then the war in Afghanistan, and the war in Iraq, and it took me a little while to remember that little piece of tidbit, that thing that guy said. And, I thought it was horseshit when he said it, and I still think it's horseshit now. And anyway, I wrote a song, and I hope that y'all like it. Does the bustle of big cities hold the keys to making men? Or are they made by tools and toil and honest day demands? I was told once only battle could save me from my own worthlessness. Yeah, my generation needed its death. Oh, you ain't a man, he said, until you dealt some death. But I seen daylight shine near twice as bright in the eyes of younger men, and that brightness turned to blackest coal when fixed to bitter ends. Only mothers see the darkening of heart and temperament, and in silence do they grieve as child turns walking dead. And you tell me that a man just ain't a man until he's dealt some death. This is how my faith came to be shattered in these troubled times, while others drew theirs closer, sure of favor in God's eyes. On a sick wind I watched prayers ascend, bereft of holy light, finding homes among the hopeless, filling hollow insides, singing hallelujah, brothers, God is on our side. So if your spirit is unwilling and your flesh feels old and weak, but you speak such words of righteousness, your voice doth shake the trees. Oh, well, think about it, brother, who would teach you these things?
Oh, and would a God of love have you on your knees? Now tell me, what side are you on, and in what do you believe? So does the bustle of big cities hold the keys to making men? Or are they made by tools and toil and honest day demands? I was told once only battle could save me from my own worthlessness. Yeah, my generation needed it some death. Oh, you ain't a man, he said. You ain't a man, he said. No, you ain't a man, he said, till you dealt some death.
All right. Well, so my dad says that he is seeing me on YouTube and that I need to speak up when I'm talking, and that that the mix is good when I'm singing and playing, but I need to talk louder when I'm speaking. I hope that I'm discovering that everybody has been able to get the stream from YouTube, and that that's not an issue anymore. But please, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do a couple of things to help that along right now, because I am worried that that isn't actually that is actually a problem. I have a let's see here, a couple of issues that I tried to resolve as I was going through this, the course of this, and unfortunately, I'm not the most technologically savvy human being on the planet, and so it's possible that I may have missed a thing or two while I was doing all this stuff. So, but I think I should be able to potentially work this out. Wendy, I'm sending you some information right now, and if you could log into my YouTube and make sure that this is the right, that this information is actually in there, so that you can look it up, so that you can input it. I just sent you the link for for the stream key that needs to go into YouTube. So there we go. Hopefully that'll work. Anyway. If it's working on YouTube, if somebody else other than my dad wants to write me and say that they are watching it on YouTube via Facebook, that would be fantastic right now. All right. Anyway.
This is the place where hard lessons are learned. This is the bell that will ring at your burial. This is where somber men shake hands and lowered voices carry. This is where baby learns the song. This is where baby learns. There's decay in the grain, decay in the barley, veins teem with traces of lead and mercury. of the storm. This is the place where mercy was fed to the wolves. This is the poetry of the end. A language is not our heritage. It's not music or the written word. It's the passing of souls 'neath the blade of the axe, decay and the grain, decay and the barley, veins deep with traces of lead and mercury, decay and the grain, decay in the foundry, perfectly calm in the eye, perfectly calm in the eye. We're perfectly calm in the eye of the storm.
All right. So it seems like it is working on YouTube, and that is great. And for anybody who doesn't seem to be able to find it, I am very, very, very sorry. Anyway, so I'm going to keep on trucking. This next song is called Feast. Yeah, Wendy, don't worry about it. Folks are saying that it is streaming on YouTube, and if you can see it streaming on YouTube, then that's all that really matters. But yeah, this next song is called Feast. Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. I've been sort of, I've had fans who say that I sort of only recently became political. This record is so political, like so much of this album is really political. The last song, Keys, is very political. And this song also is accusatory towards the Catholic Church. And I mean, this song is just, it's not really necessarily meant to be accusatory entirely towards the Catholic Church, but it's used as like the example in the song. This song is just about organized religion and about people in power twisting people's faith to make them do things. And we still see this right now all over the world. And it's not religion so much anymore, although that is a component. This song is basically just about reaching into people's hearts or their spirits, and where they should be being nurtured and treated with love and compassion. They are instead they should be talking to people who are trustworthy, and instead of finding people who are trustworthy, they're planting the seeds of evil and hatred, and sometimes also many different types of abuse. I think a lot of people know a lot about the Catholic Church and the types of abuses that have been done, I think that it's obviously not just the Catholic Church, and there's lots of different types of power, and there's lots of different types of hierarchy, and the way that people wield hierarchy and their power against others is disgusting. And these are things that I'm only really starting to understand as well, and starting to recognize my own power that I've had in the past, and the ways that I've not realized that I was harming other people by wielding my own power against them. So anyway, this song is about that, and I hope that you will enjoy it. It's called Feast.
crosses worn by men are paper thin. Their light shines from within, a wreath of flames. You hail the splintered wood and bloody thorn, and burned the book of names when judgment comes. So feast you, lion, on the supple lamb. Hallelujah, amen. Hallelujah, amen. There's a sad black thing that you pass for unarmed. It's tied slender strings around all our hearts. Our spirits burn in the flames, our voices drown in the zealotry, our bodies give beneath the strain of the weight. So feast, you lion, on the supple lamb. Hallelujah, amen. Hallelujah, amen. Hallelujah, amen. Hallelujah, amen. All right. It's an interesting one, that song. So no, Daniel, you did not miss Sleep Well. I'm playing everything backwards. I hope that people will, who have been following since the beginning, know that, are helping folks along and letting them know that that's the thing that's going on. All right, this next song is gonna be called Sleep Well, and Seth, not Daniel, who said that. Thanks, Daniel, for making sure that Seth found out. Anyway, the song's called Sleep Well, and this is a true story. Like most of my songs are true stories. This song is quite literally about a woman who I was in love with when I was 18 years old, and who I reconnected with when I was about 30 or 31 years old. I hadn't seen since I was probably 19. And it turned out that she had been in love with me also, and we missed our opportunity because we were too young and too scared. And apparently my roommate had told her that I was not interested for X reason, in order to wave her off because he wanted to be with her or whatever. He lied to her, and it was pretty sad. But anyway, they're still a wonderful person and in my life, and yeah, I appreciate them a lot. And this is a sad song, but we are where we are today, and there's nothing that can be done about it. And I'm happy where I am. So. Lay a wreath by the poplar or maple, for the pine and the walnut are gone. Secure your saddle on that old Palomino, ride till the stars seem to fall. What do you dream of when all that you wanted is given, when the need for it is done? Like the love of a girl who has long been a woman, long years after you've moved on. But sleep well. It's not your fault. Was there in the first light, in the stillness of morning, when you hear one fragile bird song, 'cause alone with the truth, that is the worst kind of lonely, the worst kind of being alone. So you got that old saddle, it's a new Palomino, and the spark is fading faster than hope. And you think about 3 words left forever unspoken that altered the path that you walk. But sleep well. It's not your fault. Sleep well. It's not your fault. All right. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and tune my guitar, and I don't know. The next song I'm going to play is Nevada County Line, and again, going backwards here on A New Home in the Old World, and this is another song about love lost. When I lived in the Czech Republic, I was there for 5 years. Sorry. I was in the Czech Republic for 5 years, and I moved there with a ex-partner, and we split up, and they went back home to the United States, and I stayed in Czech with my brother, working at the Blind Eye, and I met a woman who was from California, and I fell very deeply in love with her.
I would say probably up until my current partner, Karina. And this is not, I'm not just saying that because I'm with this woman now. But up until that point, up until now, was the healthiest, best relationship that I ever had in my entire life. And I managed to mess it up at the end. And I wrote the entire Somebody Loves You record pretty much about that experience. But there were some lingering effects. And when I was writing this one, sometimes when you split up with somebody, it takes years and years to get over it. And I would say we were together for 3.5 years. It took me 5 to get over it. Anyway, this one's a song about that. I think this is the last song that I ever wrote about that woman, though. I think it was a pretty good goodbye. I'd go to you over uneven roads, cross worn out asphalt and earth. And I'd go to you, but I haven't the heart to steal you from the arms of another. More than mere highways rest between you and I, and that lonesome Nevada county line. When you came to me across the vast ocean blue, flying east from your father and mother, you came to me in a small dusty room with the weight of your decision sinking in. More than mere highways would link you and I to that lonesome Nevada county line. So there we stood with our city and its spires, and the warmth where our bodies met in the middle. Yes, we were there where they rise and greet the sky, unaware of the storm on the horizon. More than mere highways were filling up your eyes with that lonesome Nevada county line. Then you went away. That old fever took hold of me. Lord, I laid where I could
for a time. You went from me, for I squandered all your love. By my own hand it was buried in the dirt, by the side of the highway you left me by and by. For that lonesome Nevada county line. I love that song. I always get lost in it. It's weird. Yeah. Anyway, the next song I'm gonna play is interestingly enough the last song that I wrote for this record. I wrote it 2 days before I went into the studio, and I was like, I've got to put it in on the record. And as I'm known to do, just kind of get really excited and run off with an idea. But I'm really glad that I did, because the song is a lot of fun, and it's interesting in a couple of ways, because I wrote the song about where I live with my dad in Ohio. And it's about Logan County, which is the largest and least densely populated county in the state of Ohio. Anyway, it was a very interesting time when I lived with them, and I ended up writing a song which was sort of the first version of this song. It's called Ghost Head Rails. And I recorded it as a demo at my dad's house a week before I moved to the Czech Republic. And you can hear it on the rarest vinyl release that I have that was released on Dog Lovers Records. And it's a song called Easy Listening and the song Ghost Head Rails. And then it's also, I believe, on Collection, if I'm not mistaken, but I can't remember. Anyway, but I retooled the song, and I wrote this because I really wanted to have an anthem about it. I was really feeling like doing something that sounded like a mixture of Husker Du and Bruce Springsteen. Anyway, that's how I got this song, Thunder Rail.
So few remaining rainwater rats, fewer could tell you what the nickname meant. They still live and die near an aging railway line, blessed once an hour by its passing. When a siren broke the silence, heralding midday, rant and curse the awakening. I was tinder sparked and smoking, the air it wasn't helping. My head was in the clouds, and my wheels were spinning. It's the only thing that never breaks. Constant passing, thundering rails. Constant passing, thundering rails.
Logan County had me screaming bloody murder. Constant sound of thundering rails. Constant sound of thundering rails. And now my face has come to show those telltale lines of age, mark of a reckless type of living. I wrap myself in warm contempt for nostalgic passing fancies I never had a peep to recall. Don't believe in glory days. It's the only thing that never breaks. Constant passing, thundering rails. Constant passing, thundering rails. Logan County had me screaming bloody murder. Constant sound of thundering rails. Constant sound of thundering rails. Constant sound of thundering rails. All right. Well, next song I believe is Darkness Out of Me. I may have gotten these two out of order. I can't remember. But yeah, good enough for rock and roll. All right. So this song is called Darkness Out of Me. Yeah, I wrote this about hero worship, and I don't know, like, I think I was angry at some of my heroes, and I was angry at some of my peers, and I was mad at myself. I was just like kind of starting to realize who I was, and like what I was capable of, and how I don't know, just disconnected from myself I felt. And yeah, this song is sort of about that, about how weird it is to have people say all these wonderful things, and tell you how great you are, and have other people tell you how awful you are, and just how weird and conflicted it feels, hearing both of those things, and how the good things and the bad things oftentimes neither one brought out the best in me. I think both brought out the worst parts of me in some ways. Yeah, the song is kind of a plea to myself, like, how do I get rid of these awful things about myself that I don't like? And
that other people don't like. And yeah, still figuring that shit out. Anyway, this song's called Darkness Out of Me.
All your strength came to fail you in your hour of need, and the wind cut through the man that you used to be. Here you stand, face full of cold reckoning, a dying light inside a cruel melody. Well, you're no angel or holy man, hollow vessel with unsteady hands. Are you happy? Are you slipping away? Can you rend the darkness out of me? And in our veins there is a broken legacy. Every pulse is an ageless hammering. But can you stand to face the cold memories? No guiding light inside a cruel melody. Well, we're no angels or holy men, hollow vessels with unsteady hands. Are you happy? Are you slipping away? Are you happy? Are you slipping away? Can you rend the darkness out of me?
All right. Well, just a couple more. And yeah, this next one. This next song is a song that it's another song about that relationship I was talking about before, and it's funny because there was a review of this record in a publication online called Saving Country Music, and this album actually was up for Album of the Year on that website. But when he reviewed this record, he spent a lot of time talking about how I looked like I was the dude who worked at your office, the fat dude, pimply faced dude that worked at your office, that played D&D and stole your lunch. He called me a lasagna filching D&D nerd in the review, and he apologized to me later on, which was nice of him. But yeah, it didn't feel great. But then he also went on to say that this song was about basically me stealing some woman's man out from under him, and he praised me for being so gross and managing to steal somebody's lady. And so yeah, that was not the greatest review. Didn't feel great to read it, even though he spoke a lot about how I was a great artist. The song's not about that. The song is about having a last conversation with an ex-partner when you realize that they've probably gone with a safe bet, and that you were not as good for them as the person that they're with. It's about sitting there and they're actually together, and I'm the one that's on the outside watching it. And yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna go ahead and play this song. It's called "Sit Down." Sit down, oh darling, won't you sit down beside me? Though I fear that I've no good news to tell. Oh yes, hold me now, if for one last time only. Talk to the boy you used to know. Tell me all about your man, how he's sweet and he's stable, and he's free with the love I did hide. Make me see how I was cruel, oh, weight on your shoulders, and he's lifted you up where you belong. I play like a poor, wounded angel, but I am a good timing man. The innocent boy who sang you to sleep is but a memory. When you wake up in the morning with that man at your table, set perfect for a family of two, oh, please think not of me, but your new true love only. It's enough that I'm thinking of you. I play like a poor, a wounded angel, but I am a good, a timing man. The innocent boy who sang you to sleep is but a memory, so here's to forgetting. I play like a poor, wounded angel, but I am a good, a timing man. The innocent boy who sang you to sleep is but a memory. All right. Well, this will be the last song. I was gonna try and play something else after this, and maybe I'll, if you want. I can't play any more songs because it's getting loud. It's gonna be after 10 o'clock by the time I finish this one up. But if you want to ask me any questions, I can gladly sit here for a little while longer and talk a little bit. If you would, please, if you could donate, that would be great. Obviously, not trying to break y'all's banks, and I know that everybody's hurting right now. But yeah, this is pretty much all we got right now. I'm going to be playing some shows in the States with Matt Woods when I'm back, because I'm going to be back in a couple weeks. Actually, 2 weeks from tomorrow, I fly home. Karina and I fly home. I'm back to the U.S. and be there for a couple of months. Going to get to see my mom and my dad and, all the people that I can, at least. And anyway, yeah, just if you can donate, that's great. Remember, anybody who donates $10 or more, I'll be sending a recording of this. If I will send the recording of this, but I'm also, today I spent some time while I was learning this, all these songs, I spent some time recording them while I was learning them. So I'm thinking that I might do another version of this record. I was thinking about calling it Return to the Old World, and it's just me playing these songs acoustic. And at any rate, I hope that you enjoy them, and maybe this will become something. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Anyway, this last song's called Run Around. If you want to write some questions in the chat in Facebook, that's the only one I'm looking at. I'm not looking at YouTube right now. I'm sorry. But if you want to write down in the chat here in Facebook and ask me any questions before I get off, then please do. This next song is called Run Around, and the song is not about someone who is like obscenely younger than me, really. This song is more about a partner that was just a few years younger than me, but I felt like they were in a different place. I was having what I call my reverse midlife crisis in my early 30s, and I really just wanted to get married and settle down and have kids. That's why, like, the next woman after this, basically, I settled down with for a couple years and married, and that didn't work out too well, but, it is what it is, right? Anyway, this next song is Run Around, and I hope that you enjoy it. You want answers, I don't have any. Just more questions and more selfish aims. You want truth, here's your truth, honey. You're too young to run around with me. You came into my room like a panther strolling in. Knew what you wanted, knew what you'd get. I told myself that would be the end of it, but it wasn't the end. 'Cause you want answers, I don't have any. Just more questions and more selfish aims. You want truth, here's your truth, honey. You're too young to run around with me.
I'd let you down long before I let you go. I took your fears and made them hopes. I told myself I could love you any way. I wasted your time and wasted mine. Now you want answers, I don't have any. Just more questions and more selfish aims. You want truth, here's your truth, honey. You're too young to run around with me. You want answers, I don't have any. Just more questions and more selfish aims. You want truth, well here's your truth, honey. You're too young to run around with me. You're too young to run around with me. That's that. Are there any questions before I get off? Anybody? Okay, so Nicholas, I would play the Whatever Happens festival. I'm gonna be here in that time period in Europe, but I have not been asked to play it. I was supposed to play it last year, I thought, and obviously Corona happened. But I also somehow was not booked on the festival, even though I was told that I was going to be on it. So, at any rate, that's a good question. If they want me, then they should write me because I'm interested. And yeah, let's see here. Anybody else ask any questions? I know that I saw somebody asked who sang on the backup vocals on that record on A New Home in the Old World, and it was my sister Chloe for the most part, and then my ex-wife Kate sang backup vocals on Feast. So yeah, that was that. And let's see. Do I think there will be another revival tour, and would I be on it? If you the question is not one that I can answer. None of them are none of those questions, neither of them are ones that I can answer. I think that everybody liked doing it, but yeah, I don't know if Chuck will ever put it together again and do it, and I don't know if he'll ask me to be on it again or not. I would love to, and I love the revival tour, and I love Chuck, and I love all that personnel, all those people. But yeah, I couldn't tell you. That's completely out of my realm. If you want there to be a revival tour, and you want me to be on it, the best thing I could say is just write to Chuck on Instagram and tell him so. But yeah, let's see. Any other questions? Hey, Lydia, we'll be playing venues, I believe, and it's possible that we might be playing house shows, but it's hard to say. We're only going to be doing like 8 to 10 shows. So let's see.
So yeah, yeah, I don't know when we're starting our crust band, Daniel. I wish that I knew. I wish it was going to be soon. If you've got the riffs, then I would gladly write lyrics for that. Uh, yeah, and okay, so Ken, this is a question right here. Let's see what you said. Um, uh, so yes, this is an Antifa Wu Tang shirt, and uh, Death Inc. Designs did it. DETHINK. Death Inc. They're on my Instagram. They follow me and I follow them. Go take a look. There's also some place in my feed where I'm wearing this, and I post a link to them. It'll be from the summer, but yeah, you can look if you want. But yeah, as far as Ken, what you were asking, uh, yeah, I don't know. It's like I had just come off of doing a bunch of songs or of records that were more string band oriented, like kind of mountain music, like singer songwriter mixed with that. And I was kind of trying to bridge the gap while like kind of moving a little bit more towards like a rock sound or you know, more like amplified sort of a thing, and that was just sort of how it ended up happening. But I don't know, like really, you know, why it sounds like that. I just those were the songs I had, and that was the idea that I was going with, and I just sort of like went for it. And yeah, because I produced that record, you know, and of course, like you know, my dad and you know, my brother-in-law Chris and Chloe sang on it. Everybody, you know, a lot of normal personnel that you would have found on any of my other records. But we made it in a studio in Bloomington at Primary Sound Studios. If you're ever around Bloomington and you need a place to record, you should definitely go there and record with Jake Belzer or Paul Mahern at Primary Sound. I mean, there's a lot of good studios in Bloomington, but they've always been amazing to me. And that room is fantastic. It's an old Baptist church, and it's great. They have such good gear. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, Jack, definitely will be getting back to the UK soon, hopefully. That's definitely on the docket for things to do, hopefully before the end of the year, but we'll see. Um, uh, um, yeah, Christopher, I'm sure you'll see me. I think in the summertime I will be playing some sort of event, either at Krea or Schlachtoff, like around in that area, but I'm not sure yet. Um, And Tony, I can't promise DC. I'm sorry, but who knows? Who knows when? And but possibly, uh, maybe next year or before the end of the year. I couldn't say. Um, um, Best way to spend Sunday afternoon. Are you in Minneapolis, Casey? Because if you're in Minneapolis, then I would say you should go to the protests. That's what I would do. I would go to the demonstrations. If I were in Minneapolis, that would be the thing I would do with my Sunday. Um, yeah. Let's see. Canada. I don't think so. Yeah, well, Casey, cross the river and go to Minneapolis. Get your butt over there. Show some solidarity. Yeah. Anyway, anything else? If not, I'm gonna go. I haven't had dinner yet, and it's past my bedtime, so I'll probably just have like an ice cream sandwich and then go snooze. Um, um, yeah, Oliver. Surely I will play someplace nearby in Cologne or Aachen. I had a date in um, Cologne that was being worked on, but I don't know what's happening with it right now because of all the the stuff. We had reschedules. I know I was also going to play in Freiburg, but it didn't end up happening because of all this stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, there'll definitely be European dates being added before the end of the year, and there will be U.S. dates in June when I'm there. Although I don't know all the particulars yet. So yeah, just keep up with me and tell your friends. yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, honestly, like this tour is gonna be thrown together pretty last minute, and with me and Matt Woods, and we're just trying to make it happen while I'm in town, so I can or in town, then in the States, and play some shows and see some people, and all that kind of stuff. So please come. Please tell people to come support. We're going to be playing COVID safe events, and we'll be fully vaccinated ourselves. So yeah, please come and see us. Anyway, I'm going to get off of the, going to get off of here and bust off and go eat something. I'm rambling. Anyway, I love y'all a lot. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'm just going to keep doing this, and please keep on hanging out with me. Bye, everybody. See you.